Hi there, Release Fire here again, so buckle up because Diamond Island takes a lot of explaining. Hopefully it's all going to make sense. If it helps you out, drop me a like below, but it all starts out on Bonehead Island when you get this statue in the nose, which tells you that you get the 3 orbs from Diamond Island. The trouble is you'll need to work out where Diamond Island is, and you get your first clue when you find Heart Island out in the middle of the ocean. And once you land and head on up to this statue, you'll find that the islands are in a bit of a formation, and you can see on the map I am heading on over to the one on the east side of that diamond. So you're looking for F3 on the map, and it's going to be Crescent Moon Island. And this is the island that you kind of need to get to. You need to do the fishing bit, pull in the crab, beat him, and that will open up this Earth Elemental pad, which brings up the rest of the island along with this chest. Open the chest and you'll get a mushroom handle and also a note from Luigi to say that he's on Mushroom Island. Once you've got those, you can head on over to Mushroom Island, which is at E4 on the map. And then you just need to melt through the ice, which you can do by hitting this tree with a hammer, and you'll get yourself the Fire Elemental pad. Burn it all down and then you can head on inside. Use the mushroom handle on the door and that will get you out back of the mushroom house, and this is where you'll find Luigi, who is sunning himself on a sun lounger, and when you talk to him he gives you what he thinks is another key to Peach's castle. Obviously it's not, it's the diamond key, but you won't be able to use it until you head down the stairs and complete everything in the room at the bottom. I won't spoil it for you, but there's some cool things in there for you to do. And then once you've got this, you're looking for the spot in the middle of the 4 islands. So if you're not too sure where that is, it's at D3 on the map, and once you get it, you press down on the C buttons, and that'll send you underwater in the Merino, where you'll find Diamond Island. It's this huge underwater diamond, and now that you have the key, you'll be able to use it to get on inside. And this will bring you out in this island where you'll have 3 challenges to complete to be able to get the 3 orbs that you need to be able to get into Tower Island. Now the first of the trials is the trial of power, and it's easy to get into. You just change into the Earth Elemental and that will bring it down, and then you can head on into the building, and the challenge is relatively easy because you just gotta break blocks either by jumping or by hitting them with the hammer. Now jumping's relatively easy, just keep on jumping your way through, but the hitting the hammer, what you're trying to do is time it just right. For these smaller blocks it's easy enough just to get a nice hit, so you can do those early, but later on when you're taking on this big one, you definitely want to wait until the bars get all the way around, and then you want to do it. And then lastly, you just got to jump or hit this down, and again that's relatively easy. You just got to time your jumps so that you're pressing jump every time that Mario hits the floor. So that'll give you the first of the orbs, but the other 2 trials you won't be able to get into with the elemental powers that you have at the moment. Instead, you need to head on over to the left here, and this is the way into the Ice Elemental Temple. So you just head on up this path, and you'll need to head through the Ice Elemental Temple to be able to pick up its powers. Now for the most part it's relatively easy to do, but I'm just going to talk through some of the more complicated things. So for example, there's this ice sliding thing, so you've just got to follow the right path to be able to get yourself into a perfect place to slide it down into that space there. And then again it gets more complicated here, because what you've got to do is hit yourself off the wall and then time it so that you hit the one in the middle there. So you can see here I'm just going to hit it there and then I'll head on down, and then you've got to get the timing right to do that again, and that'll send you over to the right hand side, and then it's a simple trip up, and then here what you've got to do is just head on across and jump on through. Now for the rest of the whole area is relatively easy to get through, and that will put you up against the Ice Elemental boss, who has got this ice attack, and obviously what you want to do is to be able to use fire against it. Ideally the fire elemental, but if you haven't got a fire elemental pad and on button, then obviously you can use fireballs. However, once you do get the pads, you'll be able to use that to melt the ice, and then you just want to use the 1000-fold arms to get in a huge amount of damage. And you can see that's taken it close to about half of the way through. And then later on in the battle, it'll start to throw out these ice blocks that stop you using moves, but you can crush them by sliding them up and down, and then obviously get in more of your attacks in the same way that I showed you earlier. And then it gets through to this final stage where there is this ice maze for you to be able to make it through. And the best advice I can give you is to try to take a picture of the maze as it's showing at you so that you can remember the route. Alternatively, you'll just have to memorize the route all the way around and hope for the best. But if you take a picture of your screen, then it should give you a really good idea of what route you need to take, and then you should just be able to finish it off with 1000-fold arms, and that'll give you the Ice Elemental's ability for you to get into the other trials. And the next one is the Trial of Courage, which is where you've got to stop these things as they're falling from the sky. So you activate it by pressing A, and then the idea is to press A again before it hits you on the head. Now the first two are relatively easy, but the last one is really difficult because it's a big thwomp. There's a long rope and it takes a long time to come out, and he gets progressively faster. Now I've timed this and it's exactly 17 seconds between when you start and when it gets right above you, so that might help you. The other thing that I found that was helpful is by watching the rope. What you're looking for is for when the rope's only got 2 coils left away from the floor. I definitely recommend paying the 3,000 coins to be able to make that a little bit easier, but it doesn't change a great deal. And then you've got the Trial of Wisdom, which is essentially a series of questions that you'll need to answer. I'm going to talk you through what I had to answer. So the first one was the picture drawn on the first floor of the Overlook Tower were of mushrooms and an apple. That is false. It was not mushrooms and an apple. And then every hill in Overlook Mountain has an equal number of uphill and downhill slopes. Well, that's the same case for all hills, so that is true. And then for the final question, you've got to identify which of the 3 is the liar. And the way that you do this is by working out which one would have the other 2 as being true. So A says B is the liar, and then B says the liar is C, and then C says that they're not the liar. So if A were the liar, it would contradict what B and C are saying against each other, and if C were the liar, it would contradict what A and B are saying against each other. So the only one where the other 2 options are telling the truth is to go with B, which allows A and C to be the truth tellers. And that is the answer to the question, and that will give you the 3rd and final orb on Diamond Island, and that is pretty much everything that you can do here. Like I said earlier, hopefully that video helps you out. If it does, drop me a like below. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, with the links on the left hand side, and check out the rest of my guide and walkthrough series for Paper Mario the Origami King with the links on the right hand side. Leave any comments and I'll catch you next time.